Just a quick reminder, if you do speak, there was some problems with people being able to hear, so please speak clearly into the microphone so that everybody can hear if you do comment. Call this meeting to order. Everybody please rise. Take a moment of silence.
Could we remember to pray for Miss Wendy Bowles family out in Princeton, who was our neighbor, and they lost, unfortunately, their daughter last week.
Yes, sir.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I did not have any citizens' remarks turned in, but is there any citizens' remarks? Oh, and a roll call.
There are 18 members present.
Is there a motion to put the resolution on the board? Member Renault? Member Williams? What? We're going to be voting on board, yes. And Administrator Hendrickson, before she talks, would like to recognize, and for the board's sake, her board members that have put tireless effort to get us here today, too.
So thank you. With us today are 4 of your 12 Board of Health members, including Board of Health President Mike Kennedy, Secretary Ben Brewer, Dr. Jim Davis, as well as our Board of Health liaison, Betty Duncan. In addition is our Medical Director, Dr. Greg Stoner, as well.
So we're not going to go through the presentation again that we just had at the last meeting, but we will open it back up for questions or comments. Is there questions or comments before we would vote on the resolution? Member Ricker.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Dillon. And I know we just had the committee meeting. I had some prepared comments for the full board meeting that I thought was more appropriate for a board meeting. As you knew, in the committee meeting, I did take the position of a no vote with the basis that the proposal did not come in aligned with the budget and the priorities that we'd set. I think everyone knows that I'm pretty open on the budget and where we're at. I'm also an advocate that we needed to replace the 2 buildings and we needed a new campus. I voted yes to replace, and I voted yes for the site. Just this part of the process. So if you'd bear with me just for a few minutes, I want to provide a couple inputs. The first, I found a couple gaps I guess I'd like to highlight. The first one was our decision to not utilize a owner's representative from the beginning. I want to thank Mr. Rulin for stepping in, taking this on. I made comments in our last meeting about some of my concerns in that, and I would ask us to have a review on what we've asked him to do and the burden that we're putting on a fellow board member. So the concern I had was when this proposal came back, it was more than twice of what the original the budget was. The decision should have been to probably stop and reset and take a look, but we took the action to say that we're going to value engineer $10 million out of a building. We even had a citizen that wrote in citizen comments to us, unsolicited to my knowledge, with the concerns that he cited his concern to the board about cutting corners on a county building will result in costing residents even more in the long run. I thought it was pretty insightful from well, appears to be an outsider. I don't know the gentleman who wrote that personally. So the comments I had prepared, the board needs to take action now to put a qualified owner's representative in place before beginning demolition and construction. I did learn that Mr. Rulin has volunteered, so I still think we need to review that. The second gap I think is more critical, and I'm presenting this to the full board and you, Mr. Chairman. And we talked a little bit about the gap here is highlighting the failure of previous boards to manage and maintain our public facilities. We can all agree, I think, the current condition of the health building and the morgue corners building were unacceptable. And that's how we're here. It's also caused us to look closer, and I think, Mr. Dillon, you commented, as a board, many of us have looked closer at the other facilities we have and the condition. And with that, we can see that we, in the past, have not spent the funds and done the work to take care of the public's facilities. The reality in neglecting the public's facilities has cost us more than proper maintenance would have. And not to harp on past things, but we have made some bad decisions in the past, in hindsight, not blaming prior boards, of replacing prior facilities that were not maintained. We had Bellwood that was replaced because it was in a condition of a lack of maintenance and was not that old of a building. And I'm doing this to build up a case that if we do proper maintenance, we wouldn't probably be spending a lot of capital building new buildings. I know a lot of the board members here have lived through the last several years where we did not have money to maintain and repair facilities. So it's always easy to strip money out of our budget. That's not the right answer, I guess, the point. We should be avoiding this type of a decision in the future. We should not expect another post-pandemic windfall to bail us out of some poor decisions in the past. And again, I'm not here to blame past. I'm here to look forward as a board, always looking for improvements. So with those improvements, the ask I put out there is we really need to hire or contract a qualified facilities manager. Not picking on Mark. Mark's the CIO, has got a lot of things going on. We need a more dedicated effort on this. To represent the board in the construction of the campus, to plan out the rest of the $14.9 million of ARPA money that we had allocated for capital projects. So that needs to be done, carried out, and make sure we get it done while we have the ARPA money and before it expires. I'll be one sad board member if we have to give money back to the federal government because we did not act on the funds that were provided to us. The last would be to develop a long-term facilities management plan. And, you know, Jimmy, you commented we need some funds allocated for facilities. So again, look forward to this as a positive. Look for the things we can take away from this current part of the project to say, what can we do as a board, and I'm speaking to all my fellow board members, to make sure we take care of our facilities that we were put in charge of when we were elected for the public. These are the public's buildings. The last comment would be, I really think we need to avoid acquiring additional facilities until we can take care of the facilities we currently own. So again, I want to thank Monica. I want to thank all the team that have worked on this. I'm not against the building at all. I think we need a new campus. It's very important, but I want the message to get across that we have things to improve on. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Ricker. Is there questions or comments? Member Rosenbaum.
I'll be short. Everything that Steve just said, I have the same feelings for. He's much better at writing them down. Monica, I want to thank you for all the hard work that you've done. You need a new facility. Jamie needs one. I will be voting no only because it went way over budget. I will be cheerleading though for you because I know we need the building. That I have no qualms on that. But I think that we as a board need to do a better job of making sure that we find the funds to take care of our buildings so they last forever because you know, I can get a pole barn out on the farm to last for 50 years with proper maintenance, even longer. We've had buildings that were built, you know, out of brick and mortar and steel that should last hundreds of years if we take care of it. So I want to make sure that what Steve was saying, I think, Jimmy, you understand what you've heard us loud and clear, and I appreciate that we do a better job with our other buildings to make sure that we get them fixed up as quickly as we can before it costs us millions more to fix it than if we would have fixed it sooner and bit the bullet and took care of them. But I want to thank Terry also and everybody else that's been involved in this. I know they've worked hard, and I know it will turn out to be a nice facility. Thank you.
Any other comments before we vote? Jennifer.
I agree with all of this. I agree with Member Elsasser's earlier comment that we need to also make sure our employees are well compensated. I agree with Mr. Ricker's comments about maintaining and Mr. Rosenbaum's maintaining our facilities. We've had, many talks about making sure we have the people and the funds to take care of our facilities. And I think this is one step in that direction, both for the employees and the people that are using the facility. So I thank everyone who's put that work in, and thank you for keeping all this in mind when doing it.
Member Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say that this board has done so much work on this project. I mean, it feels like it's been forever. A couple of years we've been working on this. And I think we've done our due diligence. We've done redesigns. We really put a lot of hard work in this. Terry, you've done amazing since you've been on this board. You've been such a great addition to this board. And all the others that have been engaged in this process. Today I'm so proud of this vote that we're going to be, I think, hopefully, passing this and getting started on the new health campus. Thanks.
Member Windish.
So I originally voted no on this project with a lot of the unanswered questions, or thought that the money could go farther at some point. But guess I'm on the lines with Steve. But since that time, I think that's water. I mean, I had other ideas that I thought we could remodel or use other buildings. But since then, we're to this point. We've brought some attention to some corrections that I think we need to make. There's some different involvement around this horseshoe. And I think that we got to look at it. I feel that this is the best way to spend the money at this point. So today I will be supporting this project.
Any other questions, comments? Member Ruin?
You've all been very kind to give me a ton of credit for something that was really part of a team effort. Gabe Rodriguez and his team at River City, Ellen Spencer at Farnsworth, and a great team that she has, Monica, Scott. These meetings have been a joy because they're cooperative, they are professional, the meetings go quick, the work gets done. You're giving me too much credit. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Again, I'd just like to reiterate, I'm really encouraged by this board for wanting to roll up your sleeves and tackle tough questions. And this has been a tough process, but we've done it well. I'm looking forward to further conversations about our facilities. And why I'm encouraged and looking forward to that is because finally we've talked about not just kicking the can down the road anymore and making it somebody else. This board is willing to work and willing to address tough decisions, even as uncomfortable as they can be. But this board will do that. So thank you to everybody for their time that they've put into this. It has not gone unnoticed and appreciated. And this is step one. It's not finished. We still have other things to accomplish and do, and some other tough questions and to answer. So without seeing any more questions or comments, we'll call this vote. Please vote.
Ms. Daly? It's not, you vote aye? Oh, okay. 15 ayes and 3 nays. With members Elsasser, Ricker, and Rosenbaum voting nay.
Thank you,
Motion
Board.
passes.
Next up is miscellaneous and announcements. Looking around the room. Well, thank you for attending a special board meeting to tackle this. So much appreciated. Meeting adjourned.